Welcome everyone, I hope you're having a great day. Today we are going to cover three main things in this video. First is recognizing your counters and playing around them. Second is positioning in lane and in team fights. And third is going to be how to recover when your team finds itself behind. Today's gameplay was submitted in our Discord community by Meaty Marble right here. And this game is going to take place in a gold to platinum elo. So with that said, let's begin.
Welcome to Arena of...
So Meaty, I like this. He is checking on what items enemies are buying. That's great. Okay, Meaty's coming out here. Okay, so Meaty's watching red buff. Let's pause here and... Okay, the point I want to make here is, if you notice, Meaty is checking on red buff, obviously. The reason I think Meaty wants to do that is because Mina and Wisp, her dragon laners, did not come to watch red buff, which is a bad thing because that means that the enemies could come in and they could invade red buff without Meaty's team even recognizing it. So Meaty is doing a really good thing by checking red buff. In the future, I would encourage Meaty to check red buff in a different way, which is she should come to this mid brush right here, if you notice where I'm pointing with my mouse cursor. If Meaty positions in this brush, any enemy that walks through the river from this direction would be seen. So the enemy team, the only way they would be able to invade red at that point would be coming down this way, and then hopefully Mina and Wisp would pick that up. We're going to carry on in the video here and see how this plays out. Okay. Okay, Meaty's staying a really long time away watching this red buff. Much too long. And okay, this is a great point. And the reason I say much too long is if you notice when Meaty got to lane, one minion was already dead. Okay, and now Meaty's running away from lane again, and a second minion just died. So during this time, Meaty did a great thing in checking the team's red buff, but did a bad thing in that Meaty lost two minions lost the gold and experience from two minions. So now Meaty's behind in level and behind in gold. Okay, Meaty's doing good. Okay, flash. That flash is understandable. Make sure Meaty doesn't take major damage. Okay. So here's another thing. Meaty's spending a lot of time away from minion waves when they get to Meaty's lane. In the future, I would really encourage Meaty to sit in one of these mid side lane brushes in between waves or go roaming. So that's good. Wukong came to help. Hopefully they recognize that bottom has a group of people and they roam down bottom to help. Okay, so here, see, let's pause. So this is kind of wasted time because Meaty should either be coming down to roam with Wukong to gank bottom, or Meaty should be going to clear this wave. Instead, Meaty is choosing to sit in this brush, so that's definitely a chance where Meaty can improve his or her gameplay. Okay, let's see. Okay, so Meaty does end up roaming down. Okay, now her DS laner came to clear mid, so now Meaty's missing more golden experience. Okay, but their team is recognizing that Dragon is up and they're trying to position for it, so I think that's really well done. The two junglers are currently fighting, Butterfly and Wukong. Down here. Okay, Meaty recognizes that and starts to go down. I like this. Okay, and just saw Dao-chan, so she should know the mid wave is frozen. Okay, but now that Dao-chan's clearing. Okay, good. So Meaty roamed to help her team get a kill. I hope she goes back to lane now, because those minions are about to push in and she already did her job. Okay, so she does have a little hesitation there, and it's going to cost her this full wave. So, yep, so she just missed that last minion. So she missed a full wave of experience and XP. Those are the type of micro mistakes that do add up over time, and where you'll see better players, they don't miss that type of golden experience, and it really matters. But so far, I like everything that Meaty's doing. Meaty's intentions are good. Meaty intended to go bottom to help her team. Successfully got a kill on the enemy jungler, which is outstanding. I think a lot of Meaty's issues so far are just better execution. Okay, goes back. So that's another time. Meaty's health, I understand why went back, but Meaty chose to go back when a wave was just about to hit her tower. So now her tower's getting damaged. Meaty's missing even more, so she just missed 2 more minion waves of golden experience. At this point, I think Meaty's costed him or herself at least, at a bare minimum, 300 gold, and probably half a level just from missed minion waves. And again, so Meaty's roaming, but the minions are already at mid. Okay, but this time, okay, this is, okay, good. Meaty came back in time this time, so that's good, okay. And this is how Meaty should do it, right? She should roam just until those minions are going to crash into her tower, come, soak the golden experience, and then roam again. Okay, going top, I understand. Blue, I'm not sure why Meaty's taking blue right now. Another wave's coming mid. What I would do is clear that mid wave as quickly as possible, and then roam. Okay, so I think Meaty does recognize that. Okay, so watching Meaty's gameplay, I think a major issue is Meaty isn't comfortable with the minion wave timings. One important thing is minion waves are approximately 33 seconds apart. So let's just say 30 seconds apart. So Meaty should know from the minute that those minions meet in the middle, which is right now, she has 33 seconds until the next wave comes. So Wukong's clearing mid and pushing it, so that's good. So Meaty can stay down here and help Mina. That's good. Wukong's getting tower damage, that's good. I like how Meaty's hovering her abilities to land them. That's good. Okay, here, let's pause for a second. And I want to get to the ult. This ult is really not advisable, and this is the reason why, is because we talked about counter characters. So as Diao Chan, your ultimate can be interrupted, right, by stuns or other types of CC. So on the enemy team, the person that has the most ability to interrupt Diao Chan's ultimate is Baldum. And Meaty doesn't recognize that, and Meaty comes directly next to Baldum because he's frozen and wants to get a great ult on. I think if this was any other enemy hero, this would have been an outstanding play, and Meaty probably would have got a kill. But really what she did here is she just came to Baldum and said, throw me back so that my Teleonis can kill you. And yeah, basically, here I am, and just please knock me out of my ult. So, yep, Meaty ultimates, gets knocked out of her ult immediately, and the enemies jump on him. So thankfully Wukong was there to help Meaty and did kill Teleonis, but at the same time, they just lost 3 kills for 2 kills. So that did not work out well. And now they're down 4 kills to 2 kills. So I think all of that could have been prevented if Meaty would have recognized that Baldum is a counter to her character and not went and stood right next to him. Okay, their DS laner's doing good, clearing mid because team got killed, putting pressure. So even though they lost 4 deaths to get 2 kills from the enemy, their DS laner did get 1 tower, and the mid tower, which is the most valuable tower to get, which is great. Okay, yeah, Meaty. I think some advice I would give to Meaty is put more weight, especially early game, on controlling your minion waves. And okay, wait, let's pause again. So same thing happened there again. Meaty came in to ult their tank. She used all of her skills, all of her abilities, right? She used her freeze, she used her slow, she used her ult right next to Baldum. She's really lucky she didn't get thrown back again. And then also another thing to consider is the enemy support or tank is one of their major objectives is to soak damage, right? They want your team to use all your abilities and all your damage, all your burst on them so that their squishies can come in and clean you up, so that Butterfly can come clean your team up when you have no abilities left. All of them are on cooldown. So Meaty also needs to recognize that when fighting. Meaty needs to see that there's a difference between how you should fight a tank and how you should fight a squishy or a carry. Okay. And this team fight is not advisable. Their DS laner, who is the one on their team who hasn't been dying and is most likely the most fed, wasn't there. All the enemies were there. That team fight, probably they would have wanted to back off. Okay, so they're losing another tower. One thing here is another recommendation to Meaty is make sure you're checking your battle stats by clicking either here or over here on this icon, because that lets you know which enemies are fed, which of your teammates are fed. Just look at battle stats and look at the gold. So at this point, I'm confident in saying that Meaty's team is significantly behind in gold. They have lost 3 towers. They're 8 kills behind. So yeah, they're definitely way back in gold. Okay. Okay, so again, Meaty doesn't know that Baldum has used his abilities. Meaty had no vision of Baldum using any of his abilities, his ultimate or his throwback, which can nullify her ult. And Meaty runs directly next to Baldum again. So let's see where this ends up. Okay, so that time Meaty didn't get thrown out of her ultimate, but Butterfly did come to clean up. So here is, I want to back up there and let's focus for this fight on something different. Okay, so we talked about Meaty's team is significantly behind in gold right now. So when you are behind, what you should be doing is trying to farm and catch up to the enemy. You need the game to go late. You want to get to level 15. You want everybody to get max builds. Because if you don't do that, the enemy is just going to have, they're going to have level leads over you. They're going to have item leads over you. And you're going to have to find fights that are heavily in your favor to begin with. Okay, having said that, if you look right now, their Meaty's team, the tank is away, the marksman is away, and there is only 2 of them coming in here with their 1 teammate already fighting. So it's going to be 3 blue team members versus it looks like 3 to 4 red team members. So they're going in outnumbered, and they're also going in out-leveled and out-itemized. This is where if Meaty was keeping track of how fed people are during this game, Meaty could have known, okay, this fight is terrible, and her and the DS laner Astrid could have ran away. But instead, they come in, they're fighting, and now, yep, it looks like all 3 of them are going to get cleaned up. So now they just passed 3 more deaths over to the enemy team, didn't get any kills on the enemy team, so they're just making that gold lead even worse. And yeah, so now Meaty, you can tell, is getting discouraged and trying to surrender. These are the things that happen to all of us. All of us have been in this game, so... Okay, that's good. And see, this, what the Mina and Wisp are doing right here is what the team needs to start doing. They need to start defending towers. They need to basically get the enemy to fight them under one of their towers. That's how they can win a team fight. They need to set up ambushes in the jungle, right? Like Wukong, to kill the enemies when they're split apart farming. Like you could see, here you go. This is a great example, okay? Butterfly came in. She wants to steal red buff. She came by herself. Their team is there with 5 people. That's the type of opportunities Meaty's team needs to look for to come back in this game. That was an interesting flash. Okay, so they're doing this. They're starting to roam. Meaty's team is starting to roam as a group. The Mina is still doing her own thing, but at least she's doing her own thing by a tower. But at the same time, Meaty's team, I would hope, would recognize their tank is away. Okay, and see, this is another great example of Meaty's team doing the right thing. Meaty's team right there did a great thing. They took a fight that they could win. They recognized that, okay, the enemies are already low on health. There's 4 of us here. Let's get a few kills and then get out. And if you notice, this time went so much better. Meaty's team got 3 kills and only 1 death, right? So that's closing the gap. Another thing to keep in mind, when you're the team that's behind, trading a kill is actually good for you, because that kill is more valuable to you than it is to the enemy. Okay, so Meaty's, and see, Wukong is split pushing. That's great, bottom, right? Another way to come back in games is for your characters who have great disengage abilities, who can run away, which is Wukong. Wukong can go invisible, he can dash, he can do all types of things to get away. So the chance of him getting ganked is very low, unless a great deal of enemies go to deal with him. And see, he got away. So he got a tower, he got away. This is how you come back in a game. This is awesome. Meaty's doing good. She saw the enemies rotating bottom, so she pushed out mid. That's great. Okay, same thing, right? They're avoiding the vision. They don't want to give enemies vision of them. That's great. Okay, this would be scary. I hope they do not try this type of a fight. By the way, this mid area is death zone late game. Like when team fighting starts happen, there's so many, it's so easy to set up ambushes and good angles that this mid zone is just a place that I would never go when you're behind, unless you have vision of all the enemies, and just like we talked about. So, okay, this is worth going back. So, okay. About here is what I want to, so, okay, if you notice, Meaty's team, there's 3 together here, but there's 2 up here, right? They have only vision of Malik. That means there could be enemies over here, there can be enemies over here, there can be enemies behind them. The problem is their team is, the quickest way for their team to group with these 2 people is these 2 people either need to come here and meet, or they need to come down here and meet, okay? The problem with that is this is a death zone, because there can be people waiting in this bush, there can be people waiting in the mid bush, and just start chunking them down as soon as they start to walk through here. And another, so then they walk back this way, well guess what? They're giving up a bunch of time when the enemy could be pouncing on these 3 people by themselves. And let's go forward. And so see, these 2 are engaging. Mina went to that death route, she got attacked, Malik. Okay, and bam, right here, let's look. You see how separated their team are? They have a assassin coming in, they have their other carry who can come in and start chunking down Meaty's team, and they're all just spread out around this Fed team because the red team came and they're controlling this area, so now Meaty's team is split up. And the worst part about how Meaty's team is split up, Meaty's team is all the tanky people are up here and all their squishies are back here, and they're now completely isolated and free food for Butterfly. So, yep, Butterfly comes in, and notice Butterfly only had half health, right? And say that Mina would have been there, Mina could have taunted, and they probably could have killed Butterfly instead. And Wukong does try the right thing there. He tries to get on Tell, but, you know, the fight just started out in a bad spot for them. So their team was definitely getting back into this game. This fight was an ill-advised fight, and it did cost them. So the end result, it looks like, yeah, so they had 4 deaths to 2 kills. So once again, a very unfavorable trade for Meaty's team. and they're losing a lot of health on their mid high ground tower. This game is still definitely comebackable. I don't think their team has anything to worry about. Nice. Meaties did well there to get away from Butterfly. So once again, while we're watching this, just a highlight. Ways to come back. Set up ambushes in the jungle so that when the enemies split up to soak and to farm, you can ambush them when they're in by themselves or in small groups. The second thing you can do is your teammates who have great disengage potential, like Wukong, can go and push lanes and split, right? That makes the enemy have to respond. They have to go clear the minions on their side of the map, and that causes them to split up, right? If all of them go, then you guys can keep just rotating and splitting lanes. Sorry, let's pause. You can keep rotating and splitting lanes, but if just one or two of the enemies go to clear minion waves, then they've split up their group, and your team has an opportunity to ambush them 5v3. We are about to see a team fight. Let's back up here. Okay, so I'm Meaty. I see this Malik. What I'm doing is I'm looking at the mini-map and I'm seeing how close are people. I notice that 4 people are relatively close. That's good. But our 2 tanks, our 2 people who can't just get annihilated by Butterfly instantly, are the furthest ones. So if I'm Meaty here, I'm not hard engaging in this fight. I will poke. I'll go over and poke Malik, but I would wait to watch my team really group before I commit to a fight. Okay, sees Malik, sees them. That's great. Some poke. Meaty does try to disengage. Astra does come in. They're re-engaging. Great. I think this is going well. Okay, so this is good. Now, hopefully, Meaty's team this time, they did find that opportunity, right? The enemy team was split up doing different things. If you notice, the Tell was separated somewhere. So as Baldum, Malik, and Diao were coming in. Malik obviously overextended first. So Meaty's team did group. They did stay tight. They got picks, and now they're chasing down the rest of the team. Hopefully Meaty recognizes this Butterfly is coming in from the back, and hopefully Wukong can help Meaty deal with this Butterfly before Butterfly is able to come in and clear up Meaty and Wisp. Okay, nice. Oh, Meaty. Okay, so Meaty didn't respond quick enough, and neither did the Wukong, and the Butterfly got a double kill on that. But Butterfly died because the rest of Meaty's team did recognize that Butterfly was behind him and cut back onto Butterfly. So anyways, that fight ended up as a 3 kill for 2 death trade, so that is a benefit to Meaty's team. So great. They're gonna get and they're using their advantage to take objectives. This tower, that's awesome. Great way to come back. And so Meaty's team at this point is doing the right things. Okay, they're trying to do, it looks like either Dark Slayer or just clear their jungle, but okay. At this point, if I was Meaty's team, I probably would have called Dark Slayer because you still had 2 enemies dead. So Meaty's team had a 2 team member advantage, and their team's health is doing pretty well. I would assume at this point in the game, Wisp has lifesteal that he could have recovered quickly. Okay, so this was a poor. So here, Meaty's team is taking a fight that they shouldn't take. If you notice, Wukong just came up here solo and fought, I think, 3 people. And now, if you know, and see, okay, this is how you look at the minimap and you recognize a trickle. This just looked like, this pattern to me screams trickle. You had Wukong go in, die. Now you have Astrid going in, where Meaty's not quite there. Then you have Mina following up Meaty, and you have Wisp following up Mina. So let's see how this happens, but I have a feeling that this is going to be a trickle death because you have a group of enemies here that Meaty's team is just trickling into one by one. Okay, Meaty's waiting. That's great. Okay, that was great. Meaty actually waited in that bush for the Mina to catch up, which is awesome. Having said that, Meaty also did something which we've been discussing, is Meaty face check Baldum and got tossed back again. So here, Meaty should throw this freeze, should throw that freeze, and then run back right here into this bush and maybe even get on this other side of this wall, right? All of Meaty's abilities reach this area from this side of the wall, and then Meaty's safe. However, let's see. Bam, Meaty runs right next to Baldum to ult. Once again, you notice, right? Meaty wanted to ult. Meaty wanted that huge group AoE damage, but Meaty ran right next to the counter character who can instantly throw her back and cancel out her ult. And so Meaty gets thrown back. Okay, Meaty got lucky and her ult wasn't quite started, so it kept going. But Meaty did instantly get melted, so. And how it's going. Okay. Yep, and the enemy team is just coming in and cleaning up. So Butterfly, this game did a really good job at flanking and getting on the squishies. So I think the Butterfly is a great example of what assassins should be doing, is they should be coming from behind teams and getting onto their squishies. So with 4 people dead, I would be surprised if this game goes on much longer. Nice. That Diao. Nice. Their Diao is doing a really good job with her freezing on squishies and then also flashing with her ult, so that's really good play. Yeah. So Meaty is doing the right thing here, is trying to clear waves as quickly as possible so they don't lose tower. Unfortunately, Meaty can't clear bottom and mid at the same time, so they do lose the mid tower. But Meaty does successfully defend bottom tower, which is awesome. That's what Meaty should be focusing on. Okay, enemies 2, 3, 4 on the map. Okay, this is a choke point, which is good, but no. Once again, Meaty's positioning is just getting too into the enemy. Okay, and let me give you an example here, right? The whole fight is happening in this tiny little area, okay? So Meaty, I understand why Meaty wants to get damage in this area. But Meaty, once again, has range. If Meaty would have come down here, right, been in this area, then Baldum couldn't have done anything, Malik couldn't have done anything. If Tell wanted to do anything, Tell would have had to run into Meaty's range. So Meaty could have sat here, Meaty still could have frozen, still could have slowed, and still could have ulted this entire area, but been much safer. So there you go. Just want to pause to once again say, as a squishy, as a mage, as a marksman, you should never, ever be face checking assassin and tank frontliners, right? Like that's all I can say about that. Just don't run near them. Okay, let's see if their team can hold. Most likely not, but yeah. Okay, so overall, this is a great type of game. I'm really glad that Meaty was brave enough to submit this video. A lot of players always want to submit the videos where they do great, and they're very shy about submitting videos where they don't do well. But it's the videos where you struggle that you get the most value from reviewing, right? Hopefully, Meaty, when you're watching this, I hope you get a lot of the tips that I was giving you, because I think you have a lot of potential, because your game sense in terms of what you should be doing is very good. I think a lot of your intentions were the right intentions. Going to Rome to help your team, going to objectives, right? Going to assist in team fights. They were great intentions. So for you, I would encourage you to really work on not losing gold and experience while you help your team. So that comes to where you're positioning in team fights. That comes to clearing your minion waves, right? That comes to roaming in between minion waves, not roaming when minion waves are attacking your tower. If you tighten those things, I think you will improve greatly. And we just looked through the stats, so yeah, things look about how I would expect them. As a mage, as a mid laner, I should say, I would expect team participation to be higher because Meaty should be roaming to all these different fights. The reason Meaty's is low is because Meaty was getting killed, but once again, Meaty's intentions were good. But anyways, that's where we will wrap it up for today. If you like this content, if you like me reviewing other people's footage and giving them comments about how to improve, please like, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below if you have anything you would like to add or if you have any questions on anything that I pointed out. Final note, if you are looking for a community, a great community to answer your questions, to review your gameplay, or just discuss the meta or pro play going on, then I highly encourage you to join the Squirrel Nation. Our Discord is in the links below. And anyways, have a great day and happy ranking.